Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. And welcome to the Fourth Truth Series webinar. So today, we're going to talk about money today. We're going to talk a little bit about, what you should be charging, what can you make, health coaching, things like that. I'm not going to be doing a slide deck today because this is kind of one of those topics that I get quite a few people asking questions about, and I want to make sure that I get to any questions people have about their specific situation. So if you just started coaching, or you've been coaching and you're concerned about what you're charging, or you want someone to give some input to you on your area or what you should be charging, then make sure you ask questions. Okay, so I'm open to any questions you have. If you want to know what you can tell me what you're doing for your services, and then I can give you some ideas. But let's get started on talking about, how much we can actually make health coaching. That's where we're going to start today. I've got notes over here on my other monitor, so I'll be looking over there to make sure I stay kind of on track here for you guys today. But I would like to do a quick sound check and make sure that you guys can hear me okay. See if anybody is having any trouble with any connections or anything like that. Just give me a message in the box that you guys can hear me on chat. Thank you, Robin. And then I'm going to look on Facebook as well and make sure you guys are okay over there, if anybody's hopped on yet. Okay, nobody's on there yet, but I see a thumbs up, so I'm assuming that that's good. Okay, so here's the deal. So I'm Carmen Hunter, and I am the founder for the Institute of Functional Health Coaching that's opening this September. And my goal with the Institute is to completely cover every topic that health coaches need coverage on, to give you information from an actual coach who's actually worked with people, worked with clients, struggled through all of the business aspects of it. The Institute is going to contain everything a health coach needs to know. And so part of this training series that I'm doing right now is going to be tucked into that Institute so that people can see that this is real stuff that we struggle with, that these are real topics, these are real questions. And if I remember correctly, I don't remember hearing anything about what to charge people. I don't remember my school telling me anything about what's reasonable. I do remember a lot of promises that I would get out of school and there'd be a line of people waiting to work for me and so on. But I had already been coaching. Again, I tell this quite a bit, that I was coaching for 3 years before I actually went to a school to get so-called certified, because I was told I should have a certification, which I now know is not necessarily true. But I struggled for the first couple of years as a health coach coming up with pricing, because I got into the health coaching business because I wanted to help people. I had already been through my own stuff. I had found a way to live a more optimal life and be happier and healthier, and I wanted to share that information with other people. And I had a really deep passion about the things that I feel could help. And so I was kind of one of those giveaway coaches, right? I call those coaches health coach hobby, that health coaching is a hobby for them. So a health coach hobbyist is someone that's passionate about helping others, gives so much of what they know, their knowledge, their time, and everything, and to the point where you almost get to that burnout, that part of your life where you are finding yourself tipping further and further into helping others and forgetting about yourself, and you're starting to get maybe sick again, or you're starting to experience maybe less optimal health yourself. Your family starts to get a little bit angry with you because you're not around. Maybe you don't cook as often at home. Things just kind of start to take a back seat in your own personal life because you're so passionate about helping others. It's exactly the opposite about what we're supposed to be doing. And I've done it. I've been there. I remember when I was going through some of the stress of balancing the personal training with the health coaching, and then also being at home. My child had just started kindergarten, so I was dropping off and picking up. I also was a paleo primal kind of a newbie, so I was cooking everything that we ate. And all of a sudden, one day when I went to work, I had a class that I was training at like 4 o'clock. I got a really bad stomach ache, and I had been training all morning. I had health coaching clients all day. I'd picked my son up, dropped him off at home with my husband, and then went back to work, and my stomach was just killing me. And I was like, well, that is not normal. I don't usually have these problems. Well, a couple of weeks went by, and it just got worse and worse. So while I'm coaching people, I'm just giving you this idea of how the stress of all of this can affect your own health. while I'm sitting across from people talking to them about digestion, I'm struggling with my own. Okay. And that's a whole other webinar about, knowing whether or not you don't have to be perfect to help people and so on. But what I figured out was that I needed to start charging for my time. I needed to become more efficient in my practice so that I could still be at home with my family and that I wasn't getting burnt out and bitter, because health coaching was my passion. It's what I wanted to do. But when you throw too much giving in with something like that and not enough receiving, you're not honoring yourself and the job that you're doing as a health coach. You're also putting your own health at risk, and you're potentially causing problems with your own family, and so on. So today we're going to talk about how much you can actually make health coaching. We're going to get into it right now. And I'm going to just say straight up that it really depends on so many things. The main thing I want you to keep in mind when you're thinking about, how to set your fees and services, that's what I call it, setting up your offerings or your fees and services, is keep in mind this. This is the number one rule. There are never more hours in a day. You will never get more than 365 days in a year. You will never get more than 24 hours. That's all you have to work with. So when you keep that in mind, you want to remember that you've got to be efficient and effective, especially when you're working with one-on-one clients or you're working with couples and families. So we're going to go through some of that here in just a moment. So just remember this, okay? When we're talking about these options for money, it depends on so many things. I'm going to talk about that in the middle, at the end, but it depends on a lot of things about where you live, your experience, and so on. So these are not solid, ideas for everyone. This is just a discussion about how much you can possibly potentially make health coaching. But I also want to throw this little disclaimer out there. I'm certainly not going to be that person that says you can make six figures. I'm certainly not that person that supports anyone that's out there telling you that you can make six figures health coaching. So, because I think that it's almost like one of those, it's a baiting marketing situation. They're saying that you can do that, but they're not saying how. They're not saying you can do this with one-on-ones. They're just simply saying that you can do that. You can make that much money health coaching. So we need to remember when we talk about health coaching, we're talking about helping people that have chronic conditions, symptoms, sicknesses, they don't feel good. When these people are marketing to you about health coaching, they're talking about making clients for life and charging more than you should and so on, okay? That's what I'm finding with these marketing things and this training that are coming through webinars and trying to get your attention and get your money. So number one, okay, these are some of the ways you can make money health coaching. You can do your one-on-ones, of course. And that's kind of what we're taught when we go to school, right? We go to school, we're said, you can help, you do a health history or you do an intake. You work one-on-one with them. You set up a 6-month contract. You do a elimination diet, put them on a cleanse for the first 2 months, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'll say this about one-on-ones because I've done it for 7.5, well, not 7.5, a little bit over 7 years, 7 years and a couple of months now. But it is a high burnout offering and service in the health coaching industry, if you do it right, because you are giving so much of your time, your emotional energy, and sometimes your physical energy as well, depending on what you offer with your health coaching services. And this is the area where the burnout is going to be the highest. It is going to come at you the fastest. It is going to be could be one thing, and I've seen this over and over again from coaches, that makes you want to quit the profession altogether. Now, is it important to do them? 100%. I got all of my experience learning how to work with people, creating my successful business coaching by doing one-on-ones. I also made all of my mistakes doing that. I also got, like I was saying, I got ill. Well, not ill, but I reduced my stomach acid. I stressed myself out to the max. I caused problems in my family because I was burning out. And so when you're doing the one-on-ones, the key to that is, first of all, don't charge too little, but then you'd have to throw that in there. Don't charge too much. So for me, my quick story about that was I started out doing an hour and a half to 2 hours of consultations. I did not have my documents set up ahead of time, so I would sit across from people and I would ask questions. So that's the first hour, just getting to the meat of why did they want to come work with me? Why are they, looking for help? What's wrong with them, right? Then I spent the next half an hour to an hour, depending on the client, creating, notes for them and writing down everything. It was an efficiency nightmare. And I only charged about $75 a session, which seriously, like head slap. Even as a new coach, that's not enough. Okay. It's not enough, because once you get into this, you're going to be excited about it, first of all, and you're going to just want to give to that first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th client. Okay. then the excitement starts to wear off and the work starts to set in. Depending on what you're doing with that client, how many months are you working with them? What is your, what's your contactability? For me, it was, oh, call me anytime, text me when you're at the grocery store if you need help, send me pictures of the foods that you want to buy and I'll tell you if they're good for you. So I'd be on the computer looking things up. Contact me by email, call, whatever. I mean, I was just like, I'm here for you. That was what it was about. I was there for them. But I was not there for me in any way whatsoever for my business. I was not there for my family. It was just a really bad idea. So thankfully I figured that out pretty quickly and I increased my prices. So I think I went up to like $100 for a session, but what I didn't do is I didn't back down that hour time frame. Not only was I meeting with them for 2 hours, but then I would go back to the office and in between sessions, type up all the recommendations, do all the research, send them the information about gluten and soy and dairy and gut health and all of that, and then answer follow-up. It was a disaster, okay? So creating the template that I now use has cut my time by 75%. So one-on-ones are still time consuming, but I now charge $275 an hour. I do a one-time session for less than that if they want to just do a one-off because that's not requiring me to follow up with them. I then offer email support throughout the month. And then we do another meeting for an hour and it's another $275. I give them the templates to start working on all of the 7 foundations of health. They only contact me when they need me. And I very rarely have anything I have to write back because I've set it up for success in the very first intake high mileage form. And the first session is very high mileage. Now, if you're in the mentorship group, you have access to all my client trainings. The ones we've been doing with Allison and Taylor have been really great examples of how I work through an intake form and how I help clients. I've heard from both of them twice, I think, maybe, and they're already making changes and they're already seeing results. So it's only been like 3 weeks for one and I think a week and a half for the other. So I know that it works because I've used this system for over 5 years, okay? Took me a couple of years to iron out the kinks, but one-on-one efficiency is key. Make sure you're charging enough for the time that you're spending. Make sure you create efficiency around your programs. Make sure that people understand what you offer and what comes with it. So, your fees and services should be pretty clear. If you hire me for a one-off, I'm going to do an intake form with you. I'm going to charge you $250. I'm going to get on the phone with you or get on Zoom with you for an hour. I'm going to go over it. I'm going to tell you what I think is going on for, how you want to meet your goals and what we can do to tweak that to get you there and send you recommendations, and then you're on your way, okay? Very clear. 3-month contract is the most I do. I never do more than a 3-month contract. I've never needed to. And I'm very clear about the pricing and things like that. So structurally, when you hand out your fees and services, be very clear about what they're getting with you. Keep your boundaries nice and tight. Offer extra things if you need to. So if you've got someone starting on a like a whole food plan or something like that, and you give them a template to go by, and then they want to throw a grocery store trip in there, have that as an add-on, okay? So you would have that as, add on $50 for a 1-hour grocery store tour or something like that. But that's in addition to what you're already making one-on-one, okay? So don't just go, well, they're paying me one-on-one and I'm charging them $275, so I'm at their disposal. They can call, I'm gonna meet them at the grocery. That's not the way it works. It should not be the way it works. You guys need to charge for what you're doing. Be honest about, what your experience is. So if you don't have any experience at all, obviously I think you need to be a little bit conservative with your pricing, but still honor the work that you're doing, because if I know health coaches like I feel I do, you guys are continually working and getting education. You're always reading, looking at podcasts, attending summits and trainings. That counts as work too. So that is your invested time in your business and what you're doing. So just keep that in mind as well, okay? All right, any questions about one-on-one and how to be more efficient with working with clients one-on-one? I think it's a great introduction to health coaching. I think everyone should do it. I think it's an awesome opportunity to help people for free as well. I like to always have somebody that I'm helping for free. I always throw that in there. I feel like, for me, I'm a big giver. I would rather give than receive. And I think that if we are expecting the universe, God, whatever you call, the return that we get in our lives, the success and the abundance that we receive, wherever you believe that comes from, I honestly think that it's a universal truth that we need to be giving if we expect to receive. So Anyway, so I wanted to throw that out there, that I always have somebody that I work with for free as well. So let me take a peek on Facebook real quick, because I'm not looking at that screen right now. I just want to make sure there's no questions or anything like that. Yeah, and there's comments here. Yes, one-on-one is draining on your time and your energy. So, you know, and the thing is it doesn't have to be that way, as long as you set yourself up in a way that makes sense, that you practice that general approach that I train people to do, that every approach is the same, and the custom pieces only come when you figure out what's going on with the client individually. So we have a question on Zoom. What's a reasonable number of one-to-one clients to work with one time without getting burned out? Okay, super comfortable place for me with my one-on-ones was around 5 or 6, where and this was after I had my system rolling. I knew exactly, I literally had folders. I had like 4 folders, and they went like green, yellow, red. No, it was green. Yeah, green, yellow, red, and then manila. And the green ones were the ones that were active in the first month of their work with me. The second ones were the follow-up file. So you see the system: green, brand new; yellow, second month; red, final month with me; manila, finished client. So, and yes, I'm a big printer. I do recycle all my paper. I have Rubbermaid containers full of client documents I need to go through, but I think they're going to serve me when I start training students this fall too, to use those for experience and sharing with you guys. So again, back to the question, but 5 was a comfortable place for me. I at one point had 11 and 12. I think the highest number I had was a 12, and I was completely fried. Completely fried. I remember getting off the phone, and I tell this story a bit, is I got off the phone with one particularly needy client, and that's going to determine, you know, I think that's going to determine, you know, how much time you're willing to spend with people, as well as how needy are they? How much time, how much hand-holding do they need? But this particular client was absolutely exhausting. She was, and I'm a person that talks fast. Like, I like to deliver information to you guys quickly, but when I work with my clients, or when I'm in my day-to-day life, I'm pretty laid back. I'm a great listener. With this particular girl, I felt like I had been drinking coffee all day. I felt like she had been shooting up cocaine. Or can you shoot cocaine? Anyway, it felt like she'd been snorting cocaine. She was on complete high and did not stop. At one point, and this was on a phone conversation, this was before I started doing face-to-face on Zoom. At one point, I had to tell her, okay, stop. Like, just like that. Like, that's the only way I could get her attention, because I couldn't find a way to interrupt. And I said, I want you to just take a deep breath for me right now, because I'm feeling your energy right now, and it is, oh my gosh, overwhelming. So I can only imagine how you feel inside of that. And she said, this is how I always am, and I don't know how to calm down. Needless to say, adrenal problems, thyroid problems, and so on ensued. But my point was, when I got done with that call, it went much longer than it should have. I didn't charge her like I should have. And I was completely exhausted at the end of that day. So I think you have to make sure that you follow your own instincts and intuition as well. Are you feeling drained at the end of the day? Do you still have, do you still want to be done with your day and go cook dinner and hang out with your kids? Do you still want to go out and do work in your garden? Like, what is your mind and body telling you on an emotional, physical level is too much for you? You're going to figure it out for yourself. And I'm never a believer that we are all the same. Every single health coach out there today is different. We all have different thresholds, so to speak, of what kind of stress we can handle. You know, how we perceive stress is a really big thing. Maybe now that I have a new idea and a new approach to handling stress, maybe back then 12 would not have been a big deal. I would have just rolled with it. But it was overwhelming. It was too much. So that's the answer to that. All right. So if that's it on the one-on-ones, and you can come back to it if something pops up, but let's talk about couples and family discounts. So, and families, and adding in a discount, which is what I encourage you to do. So if you have, which I love working with couples, because you know, it's one of those things where you know that when you've got 2 people and they're both headed in the same direction with their health, and they both want to see improvements, and they're both excited about change, you want to make sure that you charge more than you would for a one-on-one, but then also remember that they're going to be doing the same things, right? So give me a minute here, guys. So for the most part, they're both going to be moving to a whole food plan. So you only have to do one template for that. They're both going to be changing their sleep environment, right? Because that's what you recommend. Like, that's how I do it. I follow a 7 Foundations of Health template. Everyone gets the same recommendations because we're all human beings. If there are pieces that need to be customized, like maybe he's low on testosterone and they need to talk to him about tribulus or something like that, that's a customization. If she is dealing with estrogen dominance, maybe we talk about her past vegan lifestyle and how it might have overloaded her with soy. but really the foundation of that couple or family is going to be the same. It's right there in the center at all the information is going to come from that one 7 foundation template, and then you customize outside of that, right? So it only takes a couple extra minutes. So I had one couple that that I went to, and I don't think I've ever seen more supplements on a man from a man's standpoint than I did with this guy. Now I've seen some women line their entire dining room tables or their countertops, and it's been overwhelming. But this guy, most of the time, women are a little bit more high maintenance when it comes to supplements and powders and stuff. This dude had his entire coffee table covered with powders and stuff that he was supposed to be taking, and wasn't feeling any better. The pain in his joints was horrible. So I spent some extra time with him, but it was still only about 15 minutes. I created one email. It went to one place. They both took what they needed from it, and they started to make their changes. So you can make more money doing couples and family. So it's a consideration that you could do. You could offer that as a service. So, but just remember, charge more. Don't charge the one-on-one price. You would upcharge that. And then also remember to add on your addendums or your add-ons for things like that, because you know, you never know if a family wants to go grocery shopping together. If they've got children, they're trying to turn into a gluten-free lifestyle, a dye-free lifestyle, because they have celiac or something like that. They want you to take them and their children so that they can learn how to read labels and so on and so forth. So make sure you have that added charge there. But it's a great way to make a little bit additional money with not as much work. Okay. All right. So the other thing, no questions so far, right? I'm just checking in with you guys. Okay. Oh, here we go. There's a question right here. Allison says, just finished FMCA, started a free community walking group, want people to get to know me in the hopes to turn some into clients or start a group coaching program. Thoughts on that? Yeah, Alyssa, and then Alyssa says, it's just frozen on my computer. Am I frozen? Can someone throw me some comments into the Facebook and on the Zoom? Just make sure we're still rolling. You guys still hear me okay? Just put, no, you're good, or something like that. And it may just be Alyssa's computer. Back to Allison. Yeah, I'm talking about group sessions in just a second. So waiting for you guys to make sure that you can hear me okay. So please throw me a message in. You're good. Okay, awesome, alive and well. Perfect. Thank you guys. Okay, yeah. And then you guys are good over here. Thanks, Kerrigan. Appreciate it. Okay, so with your group sessions, of course, you get to work with more people. It's less expensive for them, which is it's a bonus, right? And then you get to charge a little bit less money, and then you also have less time invested there. There's so many more bonuses to group sessions. I've been training about group coaching since last year to coaches. It seems like some people are saying it's a brand new thing. It's not brand new. It's not. Group coaching has been around for forever. I've been doing it for a long time, and it is lucrative, and it is a great way to make really good money. So I want to go back to this. Oh, you can increase your income by 6 figures, this business. Maybe they're talking about doing groups, memberships, things like that. Maybe that's what they're talking about. If so, yes, it is possible to make really good money doing that. So how would you go about charging for group sessions? So I can share my own experience. A couple of things that I've done. They called them nutrition workshops at CrossFit, even though I said I don't like that title. So use whatever you want, but I'm not a nutritionist. So I don't want people thinking that I am. Be very clear that I'm a health coach. And so I've taught there, and I charged at one class I did, I think it was $250 for the class. It was a 4-week class. I had, oh my gosh, I think we ended up with anywhere from 12 to 13 people. I cannot remember. Some of them missed some of the calls and so on. So anyway, that was a pretty decent little chunk of money. Everyone was getting the same information, so I didn't have to customize anything. I took questions. I had a Facebook group where they could hop in and ask me anything when we weren't together, but for the entire month, I was available to them by Facebook group. I saw them every Saturday. We spent about an hour and a half together. I invested very little in snacks. I did make some things and bring and just show them how great it could be to eat high fat and avocado chocolate pudding and things like that. I did have disclaimers for those things. I followed all the legal guidelines. And I also, I claimed all of it. Like I claimed my gas when I went to my classes. I claimed the food that I purchased for my thyroid trainings. I claimed everything for taxes. So just don't forget that part either. And then I also did some really quick, like hour and a half long, kind of mini education sessions where it was only $40 a person. It's going to vary on how much information you're giving, how much experience you have, how much time you're investing getting prepared. Are you bringing things to the groups? Are you giving things away? You know, what's the value in it? What's the value in it for them? And what are you investing for yourself? So, but it's a great way to make money. Now, I love the idea, and I've talked to my coaches about this before, of doing a series, right? So you can literally do one Saturday, you're going to talk to them about what whole food is. And that's your mini introduction, right? You can do a free introduction where you're trying to get people to sign up for classes, but you do an hour-long meet and greet. And you're like, you guys want to hear about whole food? Let's talk about what it is. Let's talk about the very basics of it. And then, you know, it's a great way for people to get to know you. Maybe you have someone host you so you don't have to rent a space. And then at the end of that, you tell them, you know, listen, if you want to take this further, I am starting a 4-week series on whole food and how to live a healthier lifestyle. Please sign up right here if you're interested. It's going to be $40 a class. We're going to meet here every Saturday, however you want to set it up. But you then do a series. So the first, you know, maybe the first class you talk about the inflammatory foods, and you cover all of the foods that are inflammatory: sugar, dairy, gluten, soy, GMOs, and so on. Then the second class, you talk about how to make your way into a whole food lifestyle one step at a time. I'm just making this up as I go along, you guys. I mean, it's going to depend on what you want to teach and what you want to do. But, and that's what I literally use my food guide for that, to walk step by step. I take pieces out of it. I educate them on that template. Everyone gets a copy of a 50-page food guide with loads of resources in it. And they get me talking to them and teaching them and answering questions. So you can charge one flat fee for all of the sessions. You can charge per class. I mean, however you want to do it. But when you think about it, you know, you think about, you've got 10 people, say you've got 10 people in a class, that's the maximum you want to have because you want to be able to give personalized attention. Say you charge them each $50 and that's $500. Okay. So, you know, you've got one client, you're charging $275 and you're holding their hand for a whole month. Like you know the difference. And I'm a terrible mathematician, but do the math for yourself, see what you're comfortable with. And just remember this too, when you're setting fees, do not set the fees to meet your needs. Okay. Create your services to meet your income needs, but don't set your fees to meet your needs. And what I mean by that is, you know, I understand that there are people out there that are charging $400 to $500 a session for their clients, and they're, because they've been told that that's what they should do. And that's just giving general health information, helping move people from standard American diets into whole food. I think it's completely unethical. Unless you're going to their house and you're cooking their meals with them, that's a buttload of money to just give advice to somebody when you don't have a practitioner degree, you don't have a medical degree or whatever. I mean, you really need to be offering a ton of high value, high mileage value, giving them all the support that they need for that price. It's a lot of money. But what you can do is you can set yourself up to where you're setting your fees to meet your needs. I mean, your services to meet your needs, so that your fees and everything match what you're looking to make for your income. And that's where the group sessions really, really come in valuable. That's where they can be really valuable. So let me take a pause and look, I got a bunch of notes over here in the chat. Last call went over a little. Will this recording be in the Facebook page? This recording will be in the Mentorship and Mastery for life. The recording will go out on an email, Diane, and then the live, it will be, it's streaming live into Clarity right now, and it'll be in there for however long. I don't know if they expire or not. I haven't ever gone back to check. Evelyn says, all of my clients are chronically ill. Any advice on taking them on? Some call me whenever. One wants to pay $10 for 10 minutes worth of conversation. I feel insulted, as you should. Okay, so this is a really great post, Evelyn. Thank you so much for this right here, because this is a great education point or learning point or whatever. Anyway, here's the deal. We teach people how to treat us, right? I know you guys have heard that before, but that's in everything in our lives, okay? So if you're giving them permission to give you $10 for 10 minutes of conversation by granting that, they're going to keep doing it. So I would put a stop to that automatically. And what I would do is I would create your fees and services page. And I don't know if you've seen this, I've shared it before, and I'll share it again. If anybody is interested, just say yes. If you're interested in seeing my fees and services from my old coaching days, and I'll show it to you. You create your fees and services page. Someone asks you for some help, and you say to them, you know what? I do a 15-minute free consultation to see if it'll be a good fit for us to work together. Why don't you, send me your email or give me your however your best contact. You send them a message and give them 2 times to choose from, whether it be 12 to 12:20 on Friday, or I don't know, 11 to 11:20 on Monday. But you put that time frame in there. You set that 15 to 20 minute little pocket there, so they're getting a visual. Okay, she's available for 20 minutes to talk to me for free. You then have a free conversation with them. Don't give them any high value knowledge, because number one, you're not covered, because you're not taking them on with a waiver and a client agreement. So you're putting yourself at risk by offering too much information for free. The second thing is that you don't need to work for free on that part. Okay, working for free is a choice that you make when you feel comfortable doing it and helping people, not when people are coming to you and expecting it. Okay, I absolutely have worked with more clients that are chronically ill, hundreds of symptoms, hundreds of clients, and hundreds of problems. You have knowledge on health and a way to help someone through it. Take them on. Take them on by offering them a service to choose from, letting them know what your fee is, and having a system in place. And I don't want to pitch on this series. This is not what the True series is about. It's not about bringing me business, but I do offer documents that can take you through that process from beginning to end, and you don't have to create them yourself. So if you're interested, please private message me. I don't want to go any further into conversation about money on my end. So, but then you have a system that you walk through, and you coach them through the process based on foundations of health that we all need. I would absolutely take them, but put a stop to that idea that you are only worth $10 for 10 minutes worth of conversation, because I can almost guarantee that talking to you, Evelyn, for 10 minutes is going to give me a whole lot more value than $10. So put an end to it, get your fees and services set up. I'll check on messages in a minute and see if you guys want to see that, and that might give you an idea of how to do that, okay? But just don't, make sure that you guys use that. Use your fees and services conversation, your liability comments. Like, you can't, I'm sorry, but, health coaching is one of those things I've got to have to protect myself, and I need to have a document signed and a client agreement before I can give you too much information. It's just not safe for me to do so without. Done. Off the hook. All right. Kerrigan says, groups are good. Employee benefit world is great. Specialize in an executive plan with package deal. Yes, I think it's a fantastic idea. If you can get in the door, 100% would be a great training. And Kerrigan, that's something you and I need to talk about anyway, because that's on my list of things to get with you about for the Institute, is teaching coaches how to do that. So shoot me an email if you get a chance, and let's get talking about that as well. Okay, would love to see for fees and services. Everyone's saying yes, they'd love to see the fees and services. Okay, give me a second. And Diane, be more specific about what intact sheets means. I don't know what that means. Do I have intact sheets? And give me a second, you guys, and I'll pull this up for you. Okay, let's see, is it? And I'll do a screen share. And of course, I'll look to you guys on Zoom to make sure you can see my screen once I pull it up, just so I'm not talking and you guys don't see it. All right, somebody throw me a chat and let me know you can see this okay? And then I'll talk to you about it. And I've done this already once before. Can anybody see the fees and services? Thank you, Tanya, appreciate it. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying fees and services. So you have a service, you have a cost, and you tell them what's included. This is mine from a couple of years ago. As you can see, I charge $225 per month for a 3-month consultation, but it was very specific. This is what they get. They get an extensive food and lifestyle review, a 1-hour consultation, unlimited email support, written recommendations and resources to help them reach their goal. That's it. Now, as far as like anything extended, I didn't really offer anything extended on here because I was trying to really streamline down my services and keep things exactly as I wanted them as I built my other parts of my business. So again, I didn't add add-ons on those particular things because I just wasn't ready to take anything further for people at that time. I was tired, burnout of grocery store stuff. I was tired of going to people's houses and cleaning out pantries. I was done with that. Okay, and then I did health coaching also for health coaches, so there's that. But again, I've talked about this before, what to expect from working with me, Evelyn. This might be a great idea for you. Make sure you have a note on there that tells them, what to expect. I mean, are they going to start working with you and then expect everything to be free and have free access to you? I don't think it's a good idea. So that's what the fees and services looks like. It's a general idea, okay? All right, going back to questions, lots of questions. Yes, I've heard about outrageous charges. I'm helping people recover from bulimia. Allison says, that's awesome. That's huge, huge, huge. I've recovered fully myself. I feel like what I have to offer is super valuable and helpful. I agree with you. I'm not sure how comfortable they'd be in a group session. Do you ever do group sessions for all of your one-on-one clients, like monthly or something like that? Okay, so here's what you can do to find out, to test the waters on that. You can open up a Facebook group, and that is just for all your one-on-one clients, and invite them to join. They don't have to if they don't want to. I wouldn't automatically add them because that's kind of breaking that confidentiality. But I would say, listen, I've got a group of my clients that I'm working with where you guys might find some great support in here. Instead of going to a, Bulimia Anonymous or the anonymous groups out in the community, you create one on Facebook that they can visit and go to anytime they need support. If you see a great deal of engagement and conversation, real camaraderie going on, then consider putting out there, hey, you guys, would you like to meet in person and do a group event and see what, if people are warmed up to that idea as well. But that is how I would do it. I never did anything like that locally here because it wasn't part of it really wasn't part of what I was doing with my business at the time. I had a lot of one-on-ones. I was doing group talks. I was doing classes. I probably could not have fit it in if I tried. So no, I've never done it with my one-on-one clients, but I did offer a support group online, which was really helpful. Diane says, I mean, the liability document, sorry, intake sheets. Yes, the intake sheet, I do the coaching documents. They're for sale out on my website. They're also part of the Mentorship and Mastery group. You get all of them. Okay, all right. So let's talk about, is that enough on group sessions, you guys? I'm hoping that kind of gives you an idea of, that you can make some really seriously good money. Because think about it this way. You can absolutely, and wait a minute, they're asking in here, hold on a second, let me go back to the Facebook group. How much for each person in the group? It just really depends on what you're offering. I've done as low as 35 and 40, and I've done as high as 250. Charging to go to the grocery store, I would do, when I started doing grocery store trips, I did $75 for the hour, found out that we could not get through the grocery store in an hour based on all the stuff I was teaching, and I bumped it up to 150 for an hour and a half. But again, we're going to talk about that in a minute, how to determine pricing, okay? Because it's different for everyone. All right, another way that you can make money health coaching is to talk to an audience. Do a one-time training for a group that you can actually have a template for. So like I was just kind of touching on this a minute ago about how I use my food review. I have a food guide. It's 50 pages. I also have a thyroid guide. I think it's like 52 pages. I don't remember. Anyway, I would use those templates. It was already done, no preparation required except to do a little bit of marketing and spread the word, bring some snacks, and just go over the food guide. Talk to people about gluten, talk to people about the perfect health diet, primal paleo diets, all of that. Use that guide. It was my template. Everyone got emailed afterwards. I had it down pat. It really required so little of me except to show up and be available. So, make a template, use a template. I mean, I sell it, but make your own if you want to. Create a template you can use, and you can teach every Saturday morning or every second Saturday. You could do a class from 11 to 12:30, start another class from 1 to 2:30. You don't even have to limit yourself to one group. Do a group on whole food, do a group on thyroid, do a group on diabetes, do another group on paleo primal eating. Like, you could do nothing but groups 5 days a week and make a buttload of money and take your weekends off. Okay, so don't limit yourself to thinking that you only have to do one. And don't think that you only have to do this locally. Get online and do it. Create a group online that meets every single Monday at 12 o'clock from 12 to 1. Charge $15 a person because anyone can join and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. Set up a series. You can grant them access through Zoom. They have to register and you know who's paid. I mean, it's endless. The ideas are endless on how to make money using groups, online and local, okay? But I'm really, really big on the series. I think the series is a fantastic idea. Now, this True series is completely free. It's my time donated to you guys to help you, okay? I'm bringing awareness to how it is to actually really coach, and I'm teaching you because I've coached, and I'm trying to bring awareness to other people to tell you to stop learning how to coach from people who haven't coached, because you're learning a bunch of useless information. Probably some of you might not even be wanting to coach anymore because you're made to feel like you should be doing better than you are right now. But I could charge for this series. I could charge whatever, $20 a person, $10 a person, and make money off this entire series every week. But I'm just saying, that's what you can do. Model this series I'm doing right now. So every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, have a class, charge for it. Have them purchase it through PayPal and register and hop on and give some value to them. Provide good training on something, whatever topic it is that you're excited about, okay? Whether it be oils or, I don't know, I mean, vegan or whatever it is you're excited about. Create a series and start making some money online. You don't even have to leave your house or provide snacks. All right, another way to make money is that you can do evergreen classes, courses, things that you create. Like, I have a thyroid class and training that I just sell. If you want to buy it, it's out there. I don't have to participate in it, but I am available for live contact by doing specific calls and classes and things like that on my Mentorship Mastery group. So if you do an evergreen class where you create a class on how to, let me pull something out here, how to go sugar-free. Okay, so many people are out there talking about how to get off the sugar train. So create a training, an online training that someone can purchase that lives on your website that you don't have to be there for, and then every week hold a live call for an hour and talk to them about the content. Say, you know what? Yes, you're working through this content on your own, but I'm available live to answer questions and help you along the way on how to go sugar-free, right? So they purchase that evergreen, they work their way through it on their own, they get their own training, but then they have live contact. There you are. Here I am. I'm your support system. I think it's super, super important to actually be available for people. That's another big thing for me, and why I'm working so diligently on getting this institute put together the right way is because I don't want my students to sign up for this school and then ask questions to someone who doesn't have any idea what the content is or how to work it or how to coach. That's not the goal. So every week I'm going to be available. I'm going to answer questions. I'm going to make sure people have what they need, because I've been way too frustrated on my own purchasing trainings and programs and courses for tons and tons of money and never even getting a human being on the phone. And that frustrates the crap out of me. And I just think we're moving way too far away from actual human contact and interaction and camaraderie. It irritates me. Okay, so all right, so ebooks and online training. So here's the other thing. Yes, evergreen classes and courses are a great way to do this. You can create a course super simple in Thinkific or CourseCraft or any of the other inexpensive places where you can put content together where someone can purchase. But just remember, they take some of your money. So they're going to take a percentage of what you make. They're going to take some. It's just going to happen that way. So remember, when you're creating pricing for that stuff, to keep that in mind as well. So if they take 5%, increase your price by 5% to make that back, kind of thing. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. All right, couple questions here. Diane says, thank you so much for all you do. This helps so much. I'm so glad. That's the goal, is to empower you guys. Evelyn said, I missed how much I can make a year. I came in 12 minutes late. No worries. I didn't say how much you can make a year, because I don't have a number. I think it's not possible to say you can make this or that. I mean, you can make 20,000, you can make 30, you can make 50, you can make 100. I mean, it depends on what you want to do. It depends on what you're willing to offer to your people and how much work you're willing to put into it. The limits are really, truly endless, except for you. You set your own limits on how much money you want to make. But I don't believe in saying that every single person out there can make six figures. I think it's a load of crap, and I'm tired of seeing the ads, and I'm tired of it, and I'm going to let it go, because it's been bugging me for a couple months now, but it seems like it's more and more and more lies and more fancy, flashy marketing that's telling you guys you can do this. I mean, show me a health coach that's made six figures doing one-on-ones, and I will gladly take that system, and I will interview them, and I'll bring them to you guys. I would happily do that. Okay, where can I purchase evergreen classes course? Which group can I find that in? Okay, so Diane, which class are you looking for? There's an evergreen, I have my Coaching with Confidence course right now that's out there. It's ready until I open the Institute. Then that course is no longer available at that price. It goes away forever. But you've got, I mean, there's many courses out there that I teach, but I'm talking about creating your own evergreen course that you can sell and to your own clients is what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if that clears things up, but let me know, be a little bit more specific, and I'll promise to answer the best that I can. So let me go back to Facebook real quick. Let's see. Yeah, everyone's saying human contact is so important. Absolutely, I agree. Claudia says coaches need to hear this. It's bullshit. I agree. I think it is. And again, thank you for bringing this up. Claudia brings up the multi-level marketing product that many of them sell MLM products, and that's fine for them, but that it's not solely one-on-one. No way. Absolutely not. Maybe if you're Tony Robbins, you're making that kind of money, but if you're a health coach that's really interested in having a program that is that's run with integrity, you guys, and authenticity, and you're a good steward of your client's money. That's another thing I want to push home, is that you be a good steward of your client's money. And that means that if they give you $275 for a month, you give them everything that they need to be successful when they need it. You don't just wait until the third month or the fourth month or whatever you decide to do and drag it out just because you're trying to make them pay you longer. That is unethical to me too. And I understand there are schools that do that, but I will absolutely never be a person that says, here's how you can make a client for life. Because I don't want a client for life, because that means that I'm not helping them get well. And that means I'm not doing my job. So I want to see success. So they're going to go out and tell other people. I want to, that's how I like it. That's how I made my money, is I help people. I said, hey, you know what? I love referrals. And that is how it was, word of mouth. I didn't advertise in the paper. The only thing I did for advertising was to write in a local magazine, hold events. Some of my stores and pharmacies might put a flyer up, but it was purely word of mouth. It was purely word of mouth. And I was not ashamed to ask for it either. So don't be ashamed to ask for people to spread the word about you. Get your testimonials, ask for people to talk about how great you are, and build your business on referrals in an ethical way, not based on keeping people sick. Ugh. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about what other people charge is not a good guideline for your business. And me showing you my fees and services is just telling you, this is how you can set it up. It's not saying you should charge what I charge. It's not a good guideline for your business because everyone is different. And I hope that you guys aren't just purchasing done for you documents and that's how you're running your business. I hope that's not it. I hope you're being more and bigger and better and more investigative and really helping people step outside. Again, the cookie cutter approach to coaching, that just seems to be what schools are pumping out these days. I'm hoping that you know that when you put yourself into your business more authentically, that's how you're going to attract people and you're going to make better money. Okay. Let's see here. How much should you charge? Okay, that's the next topic. So how much you should charge depends on so many things. So location, if you're local, you're not gonna, if you're living in a one red light swinging in the air town, you ain't gonna charge $300 a person, I'm pretty sure. You're gonna have to keep your demographics in mind and find out, do some polling. I mean, go get on Facebook and say, what would you pay to have a healthier body? What do you think is reasonable for this? Poll your people, find out what they can afford, find out what they need from you. Polls can be super powerful. If you attended Kylie's training yesterday for the tech training, you'll see that she gathered all the information from health coaches, and she spoke to that information yesterday, and I'm getting great feedback about that as well. What to charge depends on your experience as well. So if you're a brand new coach who's never worked with someone, don't be throwing out big numbers at people, because to me, you've got to have a little bit of time behind you to be charging a little bit higher numbers. Just maybe use those people for your experience. Charge enough that you feel like you're not being used and that you don't feel bitter, but use those new clients as you're coming out of coaching school for experience, to learn, to expand your knowledge, to move into that higher bracket of income. So your services. So, again, we've already talked about that, but what are you offering in terms of time spent, one-time sessions, contracted groups, and so on? So that's going to be the biggest probably determinant of how much you charge. Is what are you offering? So keep that in mind. And then also your competition. So, that's the other thing that you got to think about, unfortunately, is if you're in an area where there's competition, where chiropractors have health coaching, or maybe you have a doctor who's got a health coaching not pharmacy, but a little store that sells things. And there's some more full spectrum offerings out there in your community that you might be in competition with. Keep that in mind a little bit. Don't drop your prices too low just to meet them, and to get their business. But also keep in mind this when you're thinking about prices. People are going to come to you when they're ready to come to you. So if you are, let's just say that you know that you're worth charging $250 an hour every month, and that is what you're set on charging, and people start coming to you for free sessions, and they get your fees and services, and they start saying, oh, that's too much, I can't afford that. Don't automatically drop your prices, okay? Don't automatically be like, well, what can you afford? Don't do that, because then you are then teaching them, and you're teaching the other people out there that are going to come your way that that's okay, that you're not set on what you believe that you deserve to be paid. So other things that you can do for people who may be lower income, or that you really, really, really want to help, and that can't afford to pay you, that is that you can do the pro bono thing. So when you do the pro bono work, always tell them that you are going to be exactly like a normal client. I expect you to sign a client agreement and a waiver. I expect you to show up on time for our meetings and follow the recommendations that I suggest. But in exchange for giving you free help, I want a video testimonial or a written testimonial and a picture that I can share on my website. Most people are like 100% more than happy to offer that and give that to you. The other thing that you can do is maybe you can offer an exceptional discount to them. Maybe you, like with your couples and families, maybe you give 10% off if they add in as someone else to the group, or maybe it's a friends, that you can call it a friends and family discount. If someone's really struggling, you can say to them, listen, I can see that you really are ready to change and you want to make these changes. I'm going to extend my friends and families discount to you of 25%. And just hope that you'll know how powerful a testimonial can be for me at the end. And let's just take it from there. So that's your ability to at least still bring in some money and offer discounts so someone can afford to work with you, or make it more appealing to them. All right, so let's go to questions real quick here. Evelyn says, I do concierge services and case manager work liaison with clients, practitioners. It's only one-on-one. It seems like I'll never get to $50,000. I charge $495 a month. Concierge services and case manager work liaison with clients practitioners. Okay. I'd have to see what that looked like, because I'm getting a general idea, but I guess I'd have to see your entire business model and how it looks and how you can tighten things up and make more money. It's really hard to even comment on it. Not that you're asking for a comment, but it's worth speaking to. I'd have to see the whole business model. I mentor coaches, and I have had some coaches where I'm like, oh my Lord, we've got to work this. We've got to tighten up here and plug in some more money here. That's one of my favorite things to do, is help coaches get more streamlined with their business. Unlimited calls and follow-up. Oh my gosh. Yeah. 6 calls a month would be pretty extensive. 4 hours of follow-up and concierge. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Evelyn, I don't know. I would have to see the whole thing in one package. I would have to see the whole business proposal laid out. If you're interested in doing the mentorship, go to my website and take a peek. And I can do a one-time thing with you if you want. But it looks like you've got a lot going on. Yeah. I work with clients affected by environmental illnesses like mold and water damage. I know $495 probably isn't too much for what you're offering at all. In fact, it may sound like a little too little, but I'm not sure. I'd have to see it in totality. Yeah. Okay. So Rhonda says, if you discount your services, pro bono, friends and family savings, you have them sign a confidentiality agreement. Absolutely. We have done hardships in our chiropractic office, but they sign an agreement because you can't do discounts for everyone. Yes. Yep, I do. I have everyone sign a confidential agreement 100%, because you just never know. You don't ever know what someone's going to be capable of doing. I don't care if they're friends or family or not. I always have them sign everything as if they are a regular client, 100%. Okay. All right. Anything else? Any other questions so far? I want to make sure that these are done. I'm going to go on Facebook real quick. But really, that's just the gist of it with it. I wanted to just bring some truth to this health coaching, this bunch of crap that's going around right now about how much money you should be making. I think it can be really defeating feeling. I mean, I know that there were times in my life when I first started going, when I started gearing myself into the teaching coaches, where I was like, man, all of these people are saying that coaches can make this kind of money. How come I couldn't make that kind of money? Well, because I'm ethical, I guess. I'm figuring that out. And I didn't set up a bunch of lies and things like that to tell people. And I just don't believe it. I mean, just don't believe it. It makes me angry. And I want you coaches to know that it's really not about the money. The money comes when you find your passion and you do what you love, and you do it with integrity and authenticity, and you streamline your business and you create it. So it's an efficient, well-run machine. It is possible to do that, but you have to honor yourself too. Don't just take every client just because they're saying that they need your help and you need the money. I mean, not every client is a good fit anyway. I've had to turn clients away before because it drained my brain to even think about working with them after a free consultation. There's some comments on here. Let's see here. Thank you so much. Really hitting home things I feel very passionate about today. Deborah says, yes, I'm glad because, you know, and my husband and I disagree about this, but I'm proving him wrong, that when you do something that you love, the money will follow. And I truly, truly believe that. If we stick ourselves into a position that we're not happy in, and we're negative and bitter about what we're doing with our lives, I mean, how can we open the doors for free-flowing abundance? We just can't. So Xandra says, Carmen, it's not just the glamour cookie cutter coaches that are yipping the 6K months. I've seen this in the same in the coaching school programs. Yeah. Q. I totally agree with you. It's BS. I'm hoping that will change. It's time for a change. Well, I intend to change it. I intend to continue to speak the truth about this stuff. I'm not afraid to rock the boat a little bit. And happily, I've reached out to a coach this week. And if you're in my mentorship group, you know who it is that I reach out to. She then blocked me from talking on her page. I asked her in a very professional, objective way to tell me, you know, how do you do this? How are you teaching coaches to make this kind of money on one-on-one? And she did say that she was doing this, that she was able to do this. And she never did write me back, and she blocked me. So if that tells you anything, and I'm happy to call people out, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I would love to find someone that honestly teaches us how to make that kind of money in a good way with integrity and authenticity. I'm happy to have a conversation with them. But if you're not going to write me back and you aren't willing to talk the truth about it, then that tells me that you are just BSing everyone and trying to put money in your pocket. And that's just not something I play with. So, all right. Any other questions today for class number 4 of the Truth series? You know, you guys know where to find me. Oh, Rhonda says, any tips on balancing family and work time and children's needs, spouse needs, and your needs? I know. No. Any tips on balancing? Nope. I don't have any. I actually talked about this last week or maybe the week before. I've done so many of these, I can't remember. I think the word balance is bullshit. I don't think it's possible to find a perfect balance between all of them. All I can tell you is this, is that when I always say I learned the hard way, because I don't think there's any other way that we can find our way in this business except to go through a little bit of hardship. I'm simply here to give you coaches a little less hardship with a little less expense than what I went through, because the money went out faster than you can shake a stick at, and the stress was insane. And it was much more than anyone should have had to go through, but I didn't have a mentor. I did not have anyone out there that knew how to health coach, and no one knew anything about any of this stuff. So I had to learn it on my own. So as far as like how to make sure that you are not burning out and that you're being, you know, just a good steward of your own money and your own time, is to tap into your instincts. And if you are feeling overwhelmed and just like you just can't get your hands around anything, you're jumping from one project to the other, and you feel like you've got a brand new onset of adult ADHD, you are obviously due for some sit back and pull back from what you're doing time and reevaluate which piece needs your attention. And I am I'm a to-do person on a piece of paper. I write my to-do list every single day, and whatever needs to get done is always at the top. And I will literally at least get 2 or 3 of those things done. And if I don't finish the rest of it, I move it to the next page for the next day. I don't sit at my desk until 10 o'clock at night working. I just don't think that's good for you. I also try to follow a very clean and clear circadian pattern of living, where I'm done with work by a specific time. I may just comment for kicks sometimes on the boards or something, but I'm not sitting at my desk working on anything past usually 5 o'clock. I try to pull my day to a close, you know, around that time. Because what really ends up happening there is that, you know, you work late into the night, everyone starts to suffer, you start to suffer, and then you start to get irritated, and then your sleep gets affected, and you're up all night worrying about what you didn't finish. So set yourself a cutoff date, stick with it, and just know anything can wait. And if you have trouble going to bed at night, you can do what I do. If I used to do this a long time ago, and I would lay there awake thinking of all the things I had to do. And then I remember reading something in a book one time, or in a podcast, or I don't remember where I heard it, but someone said, everyone is asleep at night. Everyone is asleep. Like literally God turns the light out for a reason. The universe shuts down for a reason. What are you going to solve at 1 o'clock in the morning? If you go in and type that email at 1 o'clock in the morning to that client and remind them to, you know, get their labs for whatever, is it going to be any different than whether you type it up in the morning at 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning when you start your day? Everyone can wait. Everything can wait. Nothing's an emergency except an emergency. Okay. I don't have any great tips on that, except that, we all have to find our way, and just honor yourself, and remember that family always comes first along with your health. Okay. I wish I had something better for you, but I just don't. I don't. And I'm honest, I don't have a magic answers for anything. Evelyn says, how do I reach out to you? You can email me at carmenhunterhealth@gmail.com, or you can contact me through my website at carmenhunterhealth.com. Now, there's a section on my website, it says coaches. So that's where I sell packages and documents and mentoring and groups and courses and all that stuff. So you can go there too. Okay, you guys, I hope you have a great day, and just keep plugging along, but make sure that you are, you set up your business with integrity and honesty. Set it up so that it's successful, not only for your clients, but for yourself as well. And support each other. We all, we're all in this for hopefully for the right reasons. And if you're stuck, reach out. On the Clarity group or on the mentorship group. If you need support, reach out. Don't try to do this alone, okay? Most of us working from home. We don't even get to see real people except our family members. So for me, it's important that I have this contact and this communication with you guys. So, all right, have a great day, guys. And the recording will go out probably tomorrow, okay? See you later.